Bridges, the Networking Motivator, and this is my mini webinar that is designed for both introverts and extroverts, and I'm going to show you a tool, how to create a cheat sheet for yourself that will let you really dial in your networking to work best with your strengths and maybe avoid, some weaknesses. There aren't really weaknesses, but to really work with your strengths so that you get the most out of your networking, whether you're introverted, whether you're extroverted, and how to get the most out of both of those. And the interesting thing is that when we say introvert or extrovert, these are always a continuum. You see these personality tests or these online personality evaluations, and they say, oh, you are extroverted, or oh, you are introverted. It really doesn't work that way. In fact, research shows that most people are what is called ambiverts. What is an ambivert? That is someone who can behave in an extroverted way, depending on the situation, or a more introverted way, depending on the situation. It means that really most people are pretty flexible and it depends on the situation. So knowing that we all have both extroverted and introverted characteristics, we can work with that. And by the way, you know that the difference between introvert and extrovert is not who's a better talker or who likes people more. It has a lot to do with your energy. Do you get energy from talking to people and interacting with them? Or do you get your energy from your own thoughts and what's going on here? And one of my little jokes is that I say that when you're introverted, it's not that you don't like people. You like people, just not that many all at once. And so that is the first of our continuum. And if you want to create a cheat sheet for yourself, you can take a piece of paper and hold it horizontally like this, or place it horizontally. And at the top, on one side, write introverted, and on the other side, write extroverted. So we have our cheat sheet with introverted and extroverted. And then we are going to have a set of strategies for introverted that work for introverted and a set of strategies that work for extroverted. And then we will let you choose where you want to be on that continuum. Introverted or extroverted, these are not exclusive. This is not either or. It is a continuum, and most of us are ambiverts somewhere in the middle, and it depends on the situation. It depends on our preferences. It depends on our strengths. So because we have this, we have flexibility to choose our approach, and we should customize the types of activities and the way we approach our networking based on our preferences. That's how we can dial in our networking based on introversion or extroversion. And so the way we're going to find the best networking strategies for you among these 5 sets of opposing networking approaches is that I'm going to ask you 5 questions about your preferences, and then I'll tell you what these opposing strategies are. So the first question is, how many people do you like to interact with or be in a room with at one time? If you are more extroverted, you may prefer one to many. And what does one to many look like? That might be presenting. That might be leading a group. If you're more introverted, you may prefer one to one. And that may mean a coffee meeting, less likely a huge presentation, but more of a one-to-one. So the second is if you are comfortable talking about yourself, you're good at self-promotion, that tends to be a more extroverted approach. if you're not as comfortable with that, then why not focus on promoting others? When we speak well of other people, it speaks well of us. There may be a time and a place to self-promote where, hey, everybody, we're going to take turns standing up and introducing ourselves. Or while I'm at this event, I really don't need to promote myself. I want to talk about other people. So those are the first two questions. The third question, are you happier with leading a conversation, or are you happier with listening in a conversation? And if you're happy to lead the conversation, that's all about sharing information. If you're going to lead the conversation, that's more extroverted. Make sure you're sharing valuable, useful, interesting information. And if you prefer to listen, try to gather information that's helpful to you, that's helpful to other people. So, are you sharing information? More extroverted. Are you gathering information? That's more of an introverted trait. Where are you in that continuum? Or where is this event? Or what is this opportunity? Should you be focusing on sharing information or gathering information? The fourth opposing pair of approaches, do you want a really huge network, or a more focused network? So extroverts do tend to have a lot of new light relationships, where they know a lot of people a little bit. Introverts tend to know a small handful of people very well. So do you want a large, not shallow, but do you want a large, broad network, or do you want a smaller, more focused network? And then finally, what is your personal visibility strategy? We've talked about this from a marketing and an SEO standpoint. Do you want really broad exposure to just, hey, anybody who will pay attention or anybody who you can get in front of? Or are you okay with a very focused and specific exposure? You would rather talk to the one really super specific person than get exposure to 100 people in general. So those pairs of opposing networking approaches, that is how you can look at it from your preferences and really dial in your networking strategy based on introversion or extroversion